After the Blue Lock second selection, there's yet another selection to determine the Blue Lock player's skills and even maybe help them evolve. In this selection, they must play against the World 5 All-Star players in order for the players to assess their skills and tell Ego about their strengths and weaknesses. In this video, I'll be going over the World 5 skills, personality, and what I think they'll do in the future. So if you enjoy this type of Blue Lock content, make sure to like and subscribe since I do Blue Lock content quite often, and I post at least a few times a week. In this video, I'll be going over first the match the Blue Lock players had against the World 5 players, and then I'll be going over the World 5 players individually, talking about their strengths, weaknesses, and personality. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Starting off the World 5 match, Bachara gains the ball and goes against Pablo, and is able to get past Pablo, who says, "Oh, good spin," and then hits him with a nutmeg. He keeps going and Isagi says, "Nice Bachara, let's charge in with a 1-2 pass," to which Bachara replies, "Don't be silly, why would I pass it to anyone who could fit into my imagination?" So Bachara, using this super egoist dribbling, continues to fight against Pablo, and Isagi continues to say he'll set up a combo just outside of Bachara's visualization, and if he can just position himself at the golden time, then they can sneak in while they're having their guard down. But Loki comes out of nowhere with amazing speed, cutting off Isagi's previous attack. But Bachara passes a high-speed cross over Isagi right to Rin, who gains the ball and kicks it in immediately, scoring their first goal against the World 5. To which Ryu says, at this rate, Isagi, Bachara, and Rin are going to take on the world. And all the World 5 players are basically saying that wasn't bad, and this might be a good match. Next chapter, we go to Isagi, who's thinking about the last play, and he says when he tried to surpass Bachara's visualization, his off-the-ball movement became key, and he's not even sure if the World All-Stars were prepared for a rapid strike like that. And when he just barely managed to position himself in time, Rin devoured him and scored their first goal. And Ryu says thanks to the last match, the attack combination of those three is even working against the world's top players. We cut to the World 5's Adam Blake, who says, "I thought this would be an easy job, playing against puny kids in a country that's still developing its league, but it looks like we're gonna have to actually play some soccer." Then Dada Silva says, "We just have to win right." To which Pablo responds, "Yep, our contract says we don't get paid if we lose." And Luna says there's a 10k bonus for each goal they make, so let's go. We then cut to Loki, who's jumping and says okay, and the game restarts with Loki having the ball, and Isagi tries to defend against Loki by creating distance between them and waiting for him to make the first move, saying that he won't be able to get into a scoring position right away. But Loki simply responds with, "At this distance, you've got nothing but weak spots," and takes his first step, completely accelerating past Isagi with God's speed. He then goes through Bachara as well, to which Isagi says he went right into top gear. He's got the endurance to maintain his speed and insanely wide-tried dribbling. He gets past everyone else as well, but Rin with his foresight is able to see where he's going to go and almost cuts him off. But he accelerates once again and makes the World 5's first goal. Pablo then says, "Come on Loki, don't do it all yourself," and Dada Silva says, "Pass it to me next time, you jerk." But Loki simply says he's had enough anyway, let's finish this up and hit the showers. This play alone showed why Loki is called the God Sprinter, but I'll get more into his skill and character as we progress in the video. Restarting the game, Rin got the ball but is focused on Loki instead of being focused on Leonardo Luna, who came up from behind him and took the ball and passed it to Pablo. And Loki after this play says, "You've got tunnel vision from a lack of experience." Pablo then gains the ball and looks all around him and kicks the ball to the perfect position to Ryu and Dada Silva, and Ryu, being a mid-air master, tries to match Dada Silva in a mid-air battle, but is crushed by sheer strength. And Dada is able to actually get the ball to Adam Blake and Tokumitsu, who are having a strength battle as well. To which Adam Blake says, "Move, I've got no interest in male bodies," and pushes Tokumitsu easily in a tackling contest, and makes his first goal. To which Isagi says, "Speed, foresight, kicking, height, and tackling, all of them are being overwhelmed. This is top tier technique. None of the things we've done in Blue Lock are working anymore. We're being totally pulverized. This is beyond the next level I've been aiming for. This soccer is incredible. I want to be a part of that world." And then Isagi finally realizes that they're all just messing around, and the world-class level that they're attempting to reach is still much farther away than they thought originally. But Isagi doesn't care at all, and he says he doesn't care if it even obliterates him. He's going to force his way into the world that the World 5 are in. The game restarts and Bachara has the ball and tries to get past Pablo, who easily sees through his thunder dribbling and says his rhythm is dynamic, but he doesn't have enough patterns. Your plays don't have enough performance, and passes it to Adam Blake. While fighting Adam Blake, Tokumitsu says what's with his body? It's like fighting a bull. But instead of just running through Tokumitsu like he could, he passes it to Loki and says, "Run, kid." Isagi then says their plays are too fast. Even if I can understand them, I can't stop them in time. And Loki passes it to Dada Silva, who makes a raid dive header, making the score 1-3 in the World 5's favor. Isagi says it's no use and they're too amazing, and that this is the real deal. It feels like we're just being toyed with, and no matter how much we struggle, victory seems impossible. The way we are now, we don't stand a chance against these guys. While this is happening, Bachar is facing off against Pablo, and Pablo kicks the ball behind Bachar, scoring his first goal. And while everyone's being discouraged from playing the game right now, Rin says, "Not yet, damn it. This isn't over yet." We then cut to Leonardo Luna, who says, "I like you. Unlike these other kids, you really still think you can win this. I'm gonna discourage you with my whole heart," while running towards Rin and dribbling around him. He finally gets to Rin and nutmegs him and says that's no good, and scores yet another goal for the World 5 team. But he says, "Don't worry, we're just here to assess you guys. The match's real objective was to pick members for the Japan U20 World Cup team. We knew you guys would lose right from the start." Ending off this match, Leonardo Luna says, "Adios, lumps of talent. Let's meet again on the real field." Now that we've gotten past the match, I can finally get into their characters and their play styles, starting off with Pablo. We know that Pablo represents Argentina and is the best free kicker in the world. He also has amazing passing and kicking accuracy, as well as maybe even meta vision, since as I mentioned before he passes the ball to Dada Silva, he begins looking all around him in a kind of weird motion that we never get to see again, but this does lead to an amazing perfect pinpoint pass. And like Isagi said in the Neo Egoist League, it's probable that all the pros in the world probably have this ability anyway, so it's possible that all the World 5 even have this meta vision. Pablo also shows his amazing vision when he's able to dissect Bachar's entire playstyle and tell him exactly what was wrong with it while stealing the ball right from under him. Something else I wanted to mention for Pablo is that he's put in a forward or striker position over someone like Adam Blake, who's stated to be a goal junkie and the leading goal scorer for his country, which is pretty interesting but doesn't really give us anything else on his character. Moving on to Adam Blake, we don't really have much on his character, but we do know he's a leading scorer in the English league and plays to represent England. We see that he has world-class speed and strength, being able to push over people like Tokumitsu, who was regarded as one of the physically strongest characters in the Block facility. Also being able to make insane power shots. Next is Dada Silva. All we really know about him is that he's an amazing defender who's called a tank, and he grew up in the slums. His physical strength and airborne abilities are shown to be amazing as he fights against Ryu and scores an amazing header goal. Much like all the other players on the World 5 team, he most likely has amazing passing abilities as well as meta vision, but that's really all we have for him for now. Moving on to, in my opinion, the top two that we have the most knowledge on right now is Leonardo Luna and Loki the God Sprinter. Firstly, I'll go over Leonardo Luna. Starting off with Leonardo Luna, I'd like to go over his talk with Rin that he had before the match, where he says, "You're that guy Seitoshi's little brother, right? He made a name for himself on one of the Real's subordinate teams. If you're his brother, I'm sure you've got some amazing talent. I can't wait to play against you. But I gotta say this, it's really interesting, this project to make Japan's soccer the best in the world. I mean, there's a higher chance of someone Spanish becoming a high-ranking sumo wrestler. So it's pretty incredible how Japan is able to dump such a reckless amount of money on something like this." To which Rin says, "Are you being ironic?" But Luna responds innocently saying, "I was trying to praise you guys, gambling your lives on a wish that'll never come true. Japanese people really are the world's top masochists." He says all this with an amazing beaming smile on his face, and it implies that he's really not being mean on purpose, but it's just kind of in his character to be blunt. And this will lead me to believe something that I'll get into pretty soon. But before going into that, let's get into his playstyle. Pablo, while playing against Rin, says he's going to discourage his hope for winning with his whole heart, and begins playing against him, and as I said, was able to get past him pretty easily with a nutmeg, and scored the final goal for his team. Leonardo Luna's playstyle is very, I guess you could say, lighthearted, but he's also able to destroy people pretty easily and has this insane ego to him, to which when he's rushing towards Rin, he has an amazing aura that makes Rin visibly interested. This leads into something that I've been talking about for a while now, and I've even made a half a video on, I guess, which is that Leonardo Luna may have been the one to crush Sei's ego. Now, whether it was on purpose or not, I do not believe it would be, because, like I said, Leonardo Luna is the type to accidentally do something like that, even with the lighthearted playstyle that he has. But he does seem to be quite a demon on the field, being able to do amazing tricks and scissors, and get past people like Rin pretty easily. Also, being a Real Madrid player, this means that he did play in the same vicinity at least as Sei, and he did mention how he knew Sei and he was making a name for himself. So it is quite possible that they played against each other, being in the same country and all. But now moving on to the final player, that is Loki. Now, Loki the God Sprinter is the only player in the World 5 who became a master for the Neo Egoist League. We all know Loki's ability, obviously it's sprinting, and he's obviously way faster than anyone we've seen in the series as of yet. He also has an amazing shot and pass, much like everyone else on the World 5 team, and I guarantee that we'll get to see more of him and Rin as the Neo US arc continues, because we really haven't gotten to see the PXG team play, and we also haven't gotten to see what kind of a training he's been putting Rin through, but it will be really interesting when we do get to see those. That's really all I have for today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and also go check out some more of my videos. Goodbye.